It's a day of dingers. Adley Rutschman's first as part of the Boston Red Sox. Murakami hits an opposite field tank, and Shohei Ohtani reaches 30 home runs for his 6th straight season. We're taking you all around Major League Baseball. This is MLB Game Night.
When that final out is made, you know it's time for Locked On MLB Game Night. All the post-game reactions to every game across the league, every single night, with insights only the hosts at Locked On can provide. Prepare to experience game day reactions like never before. Only on Locked On MLB Game Night. Your team every day.
Thanks for being here for this edition of MLB Game Night. Every game, every night, hanging out with us, even though there was a rain delay in the last game of the night. I'm John Frisch. I'm one half of Locked On Angels. With me is Shook Rewrites of Locked On MLB. And we're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, the #1 sports podcast network out there. Thanks to everydayers like you. On today's show, Joe Adell has a career night for the Guardians, who are trying to stay in the wild card hunt. The Mariners basically got deleted from existence. Shukri, we'll talk about that in segment 2. But let's start with the game that did keep us up, and that was the White Sox at Wrigley Field against the Cubs for the second night in a row. The Cubs walk it off against the Chicago White Sox. This one started with a Pete Crow-Armstrong home run to lead off the Cubs' bottom of the first, his 31st of the year, after he walked it off with his 30th on Monday night. Michael Busch followed with a home run of his own. Now, the White Sox did tie it, thanks in part to Murakami hitting an opposite field tank off the jumbotron to left field. Then we get to a 3-3 rain delay in the middle of the game, in the middle of the 8th inning. Nothing doing for the Cubs in the 8th, nothing doing for the White Sox in the top of the 9th. Then Carson Kelly leads off with a double, puts him on second base. They intentionally walk PCA, 2 outs with Alex Bregman up, and he hits a base hit to center field to get Carson Kelly home and win this game. Sugary, I gotta say, I love seeing the White Sox being competitive with the Cubbies in the Crosstown Classic. Like, who would have seen that come in at the beginning of the year? And now here we are, 2 teams in playoff hunts in their respective divisions and in their respective leagues. What do you say?
I honestly didn't see it happening going back to spring training. I thought that this was going to be another year of, the White Sox continuing to rebuild. I didn't think that the kids will arrive this soon for the White Sox. But for the Cubs, I thought that there was reason to be really optimistic, considering that they did, bringing, Alex Bregman during the offseason. And now here we are. When you talk about both the White Sox and the Cubs, here we are in the middle of August. The fact that both teams, but really the biggest surprise of baseball this year, and I've said it before in a previous episode of MLB Game Night, that for me, the big surprise this year has got to be the Chicago White Sox. Far more than the Chicago Cubs. I if you told me back in April that they will still be in the thick of not just only leading the division or even being in a wild card chase, that they will be still here we are in the end of like August, I wouldn't have believed it. But it's reality. And for the Cubs itself, I'm not surprised. Like, this was one heck of a game in itself. Like, the only concern that I do have for the Cubs is the fact that Kevin Gausman did leave after 4 1/3 innings with the left hand cramp. But that's just about it. Hopefully that he'll be okay for the stretch run. But man, this has turned into one hell of a series, and it's lived up to the billing thus far.
Absolutely. Yeah. Great to see both these teams being competitive, putting on a good show for us outside of Chicago. That's for sure. We're going to keep it going with the, I told you it was a day of dingers, and it was a Trent Grisham home run, his 17th of the year in the 3rd inning as the Yankees go over the Orioles 3-1. And he accounted for all the runs the Yankees scored. He had a 2-run single in the 7th inning as well. Just a Kobe Mayo solo home run in the 3rd for the Orioles off of a returning Carlos Rodon, almost 2 months on the IL with elbow inflammation. 4 innings pitched, 2 hits, just that 1 solo home run, 2 walks, and 4 Ks. Shukri, as a Yankee fan, you got to be happy to see Rodon back on the mound.
Absolutely. This is huge considering that Max Fried is going back on the IL with the bone
Right.
spur. This is a big, big, big return for the Yankees rotation, in which that, if you think about it, the plan going into this season was to pretty much ride the rotation, and you didn't think that Aaron Judge was going to be out for as long as he's been up until this point. So at this point, the Yankees rotation getting Rodon back is huge, as it is pretty much on, I won't say life support, but it is close considering that Fried may be maybe out for an indefinite period of time, and the offense being what it is for the Yankees being putrid. Again, another night where they score 3 runs, they get the W by a large part because of what? Because of the bullpen, and at times at times like the rotation, but man, it's certainly big to have Carlos Rodon back in the rotation for the Yankees.
Yeah, there was one point where we were asking the question, who's the odd man out in the Yankees rotation?
Yeah,
Well,
correct.
these things have a way of working themselves out where it's like, oh, is Ryan Weathers going to be out? Well, now we need him because somebody else is out. And so it's kind of a revolving door. But those things have a way of working themselves out for sure. We'll keep it AL East between the Blue Jays and the Rays as the Jays go up 10-5 over Tampa, thanks in part to Kazuma Okamoto break in Toronto's rookie home run record with his 25th of the season that breaks Eric Hinsky's team record. Easy for me to say. 72 RBI on the season for Okamoto. Is it really fair to call him a rookie, even though he's been balling in Japan all these years and he breaks the rookie record? How do you feel about that?
Honestly, you gotta give him the Ichiro Suzuki rule, like Hall of Famer, like he came to the States in 01, 27-year-old rookie. He already had all those years, almost a decade in Japan. Same applies here. Whereas,
fair.
listen, playing in Japan versus playing in the major leagues is not the same. It's like it's
Right.
2 different worlds. So I would include it, even though the baseball version of myself is like, yeah, it kind of does count, but it's not the same. And but all in all, like in all seriousness, like Okamoto's rookie season for the Blue Jays has been absolutely tremendous in the midst of what has been a torrid stretch of baseball for the Blue Jays, who found themselves back in the American League wildcard race.
Yeah, back. I think off the top of my head, I think it's 13 out of 19 they've won. So
Yeah.
they're working their way back, and they had a good, decent start from Jose Soriano, 5 2/3, 9 hits, but only 3 earned runs, no walks, and 2 strikeouts. Nick Martinez for the Rays really struggled. 3 2/3, 9 hits, 6 earned runs, 2 walks, and 5 strikeouts. Alejandro Kirk had a 2-run home run and an RBI single in this one as well. Out in at Fenway with the Red Sox and the Diamondbacks, the Red Sox go 9-4 over the Diamondbacks. Now, we were all wondering, where in the world is Ketel Marte? There's a throwback for you. I knew that would get you, Shukri.
Of course.
Turns out he did travel to Phoenix for tests on his left knee after no showing. Torey Lovello, the manager of the Diamondbacks, did say it was a personal matter as well for Ketel Marte. We know that there's been stuff that's happened in the past that's been very personal to him as well. Big story here, though, as the Red Sox beat the Diamondbacks, is Adley Rutschman. So let's hear from Gabby Maljanian of Locked On Red Sox about his home run, his first with Boston.
Adley Rutschman is exactly where he needs to be in the Red Sox lineup, and they need to keep him in that spot. The Red Sox defeated the Diamondbacks 9-4 tonight, the second straight night in which the Bats really came alive. And after a tough road trip last week, the Red Sox just really needed to get back home with their electric Fenway crowd. And Adley Rutschman showed that he just needed to get back to Fenway after he crushed a couple balls last night. One was very deep to the deepest part of right field. Looked like it could have been a home run, and then a barrel to left field at another part of the game. It looked like his bat was really starting to come along. And then tonight, he drove in 3 runs, going 2 for 4 with a walk. He crushed his first Fenway Park home run and he drove in 2 runs with a single. So he looks a lot more confident at the plate now than he did last week. And the biggest change, the Red Sox moved him from the 3 spot in the lineup to the 5 spot. The 5 spot puts a lot less pressure on him, and that's exactly where he should stay, especially with Wilyer Abreu and Wilson Contreras hitting so well this season in the 3 and 4 spots respectively. This makes a lot of sense moving forward for Adley to hit in the 5 hole. So hopefully that continues. Good game for him in a standout performance again by the Red Sox. Tune into Locked On Red Sox Monday through Friday on any podcast platform.
Yeah, good outing for Adley Rutschman. Has he found his spot in the middle of that order? What do you say?
100% he has. And the reason is because for a Red Sox team that needed to figure out like the 5th spot in the batting order, offensive production, Rutschman has ignited that flame. And now I think with Rutschman getting acclimated to playing at Fenway Park, because remember, this is the second game at home as a member of the Red Sox since being acquired from Baltimore. You know, he's getting acclimated to Fenway and in the dimensions. I think that this is absolutely huge to see Rutschman being slid down in the order and for him to produce the way that he did tonight. And I think it's only going to go up from here for the Red Sox.
Yeah, absolutely. Mickey Gasper hit one as well, and then Gabriel Moreno hit a grand slam in the 3rd for Arizona. That puts him at a career-best 12-game hitting streak. That was all the runs accounted for the Diamondbacks in this one. Let's take you out to Queens, where the Padres went 5-2 over the Mets. Fernando Tatis Jr. doing it all on the field, at the dish. He robs a would-be grand slam early on in this game. Then he goes on to hit a 452 bomb to left center in the 1st inning, and then a 2-run home run in the 5th inning. Now, they got the Mets, that is, got home runs from Luis Torrens and Luis Robert Jr. Yep. Then Machado adds an insurance home run in the 9th. Mason Miller was his 31st save of the year as the Mets go 5-2. I'm sorry, the Padres go 5-2 over the Mets. So there you go. Lots of big home runs across the league. We've got more, honestly, but before we get to that, I think we have somebody in the comments. Yeah, Russell Chung, who probably listens to Locked On Angels. He has a little comment here, and he knows that when we talked about the Mariners on the Angels, we go, the Mariners! And that's what I was doing as I watched the Brewers do what they did to the Mariners. We're going to talk about that and much more coming right up. Hey, today's show is brought to you by Kalshi. With Kalshi, you can make this baseball season even more this year. You can make it more fun, more interesting. If you're a fan of a team like mine, the Angels, who are way out of it, well, Kalshi keeps you engaged. And the reason why is because they are America's #1 prediction market platform, and you can trade on every single game. You're trading against peers in a live market on Kalshi, meaning there's no house. And as the probability changes, you can buy in and out of your position. So you can trade on the score of the game, who's going to win, who's going to hit a home run. All of it is available to you on Kalshi. And download the Kalshi app now, and you can use the code LOCKEDON to get $10 off when you trade 10. So there you go. Nice little gift from Kalshi. Kalshi, Kalshi, trade on anything 18 plus only. Restrictions and eligibility requirements do apply. Event contract trading involves risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Kalshi products are not available in all jurisdictions. Prices, values, and available markets may differ from those mentioned. For more information, see kalshi.com/regulatory. Oh, Shukri, it's called Schadenfreude, when you delight in others' misfortune, and that's what I was doing as an AL West rival of the Seattle Mariners. Look, I try not to be biased on this show, but I can't really help it tonight, especially when the Brewers put the hurt on the Seattle. It's 22-0 in favor of the Brewers. First,
did you say 22-0?
I said 22-0 donut.
Golly. Is that a kind of whoop behind or what?
I know football's. We had preseason football. This is a football score right here. But
wow.
Let's take it to Chuck Freeman of Locked On Brewers for his thoughts on this huge victory for Milwaukee.
Can you ever feel bad for a professional sports team? You might feel bad for the Seattle Mariners tonight. Hey everybody, Chuck Freeman, Rapid Reaction, Locked On Brewers. Brewers with a franchise record 22 runs. When it was a 1-0 game going in the bottom of the 5th inning, they put up a 5-run inning, and Christian Yelich had a 3-run blast. The Mariners came back in the bottom of the 8th inning, put in position player Leo Rivas to pitch, and the Brewers proceeded to get 9 runs and 8 hits. And at the end of the inning, Leo Rivas had an ERA of 72. But it was, I thought we were going to be here all night. You just had the sense the Brewers were going to put up a big crooked number there, and it was just a disaster. But at least it didn't happen to the Milwaukee Brewers, right?
Ugh.
Again, franchise record, 22 runs. They had 22 hits, and the Brewers brought their own position player in, Gary Sanchez, for the 22-run save in the top half of the ninth inning. Obviously, it doesn't get a save, but Brewers win the game, and man, what a night here. But it was funny, 1-0 lead going into the 5th. You're thinking it's going to be a tight game. You never would have guessed they would have put 22 runs on the board. All right, we'll talk to you a little bit later on, early Wednesday morning on the next edition of Locked On Brewers. Please subscribe.
Chuck was probably wondering what was going to go longer, the rain delay in Chicago or this game with 22 runs put up by the Brewers. Now, on the other side, we got Ty Dane Gonzalez, who is a very good sport about it, a very valid crash out, and he's doing the Joker laugh, in my opinion. So let's hear from Ty of Locked On Mariners right now.
Oh, man. Dude, what? What's up? This is Ty Dane Gonzalez, host of the Locked On Mariners podcast here. And admittedly, I turned this game off when it was 6-0 because obviously they weren't coming back from that. I started watching Hard Knocks, never checked the score again until about 10 minutes ago. And you see it.
Oh boy.
22-0. Yeah, all those other moments that we thought were rock bottom for this 2026 Mariners ball club don't even compare to this. 22-0. We found it, folks. Rock bottom. The worst shutout loss since 1888, I think was the tweet I just saw.
Wow.
Not 1988, 1888.
Damn.
I laugh because it is way easier than crying. The 2026 Seattle Mariners experience, folks, right there.
Man, what happened to the Mariners, who were one game away from the World Series last year, between then and now, Shukri? What is going on?
Can you say implode?
Oh, 100 times. I'll say 800. What was it? 1,800 times.
1,800 times.
1,888.
1,888 times they've imploded. But I saw the notification from ESPN where, believe it or not, John, this tied the modern day record for the largest shutout victory in the live ball era.
Mm-hmm.
I had to go back and look at this again. 22-0. At this point, if you're the Seattle Mariners, all you can say is 22 more hours of just unmerciful baseball. Man, what the heck? Now you ask the question, which one was longer? I have an even better one. Which one was longer tonight? That 8th inning where the Brewers scored 9 runs as part of the 22-run outburst, or the longest shaboing boing bratwurst at Miller Park, whatever it's called now? Because my man, what did we watch tonight? Did we watch the new creation of the new sausage at the ballpark? Because right. My God, they brought out the big bats and then some.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And position players on the mound and whatnot, but it's just I get it. You don't want to see that. if you're a Mariners fan, and like Ty said, it's just really encapsulated everything that's gone wrong for them so far this year. Let's take you out to a more competitive game, and that was the Phillies and the Marlins. The Phillies pick up a 6-4 victory. We got Connor Thomas of Locked On Phillies to tell us all about it.
Phillies make it 5 straight wins, take down the Marlins 6-4. The offense is humming. Bryson Stott is unbelievable right now. What a run this team is on currently, and we'll see how far they can take it. But Sanchez winning last night, Wheeler winning tonight. Neither of them had their best stuff and didn't really go too deep into the game, but they got some help from the offense, and you've been seeing that. It's now 13 out of 17 games this month where the Phillies have scored 5+ runs. They have such a better approach at the plate right now, seeing more pitches, doing everything to put together quality at bats. And Bryson Stott has been the best hitter on this team for a little bit now, maybe a couple of weeks. He looks so good at the plate, even better in the field. And hey, Brooks Raley, you're moving towards actual Philly status. I might stop calling you a Met if you continue to do that. He closes things out without Bolin and Duran available. We've still got a Kirkering problem, but the Phils have won 5 straight. Let's celebrate it. We'll talk more on the next episode of Locked On Phillies.
Like to see that offense come through, especially when, it wasn't a bad outing from Wheeler, just a short outing, 5 innings, 7 Ks, 2 earned runs, 2 hits against Zach Wheeler. And so really you can't complain about this kind of night if you're a Philadelphia fan, Shukri.
Oh, you can. And it's going to happen tomorrow morning. And I'm going to tell you why. Some guy named Orion Kirkring, that's the reason why. Because if anything, John, and I say this with nothing but love in my heart, Orion, what smells worse, Orion or an onion at this point? Because at this very moment in time, I genuinely cannot understand, how is it that Kirkland has lost as much confidence as he's had? Because the confidence is gone. Yeah. It's gone. And even though the Phillies won, and Connor's right, the offense has really taken off since they had the meeting and since they said we got to change our overall collective approach at home plate when at bat, and it's worked beautifully during this month. But, man, there's only one negative, and that's Orion Kirkring. That Phillies bullpen leading up to Jahoan Durant is a problem right now. But another win is another win.
Yeah, you got to take it where you can get, especially as we creep into September and the later weeks here of the season. Let's take you out to Pittsburgh, 4-1 in favor of the Pirates over the Tigers, thanks to Braxton Ashcraft, the first Pittsburgh pitcher since A.J. Burnett, there's a name, in 2012 to record a complete game and then work at least 8 innings in his next start. I talked about big home runs, and this one came courtesy of O'Neal Cruz returning from the IL. Now, he's been out since June with a broken left hand, and ironically, he hit a knuckle curve out for a home run. Broken hand, knuckle curve. See what I did there? So, yeah, Braxton Ashcraft, fantastic. Cater Montero had 4 perfect innings before things got out of hand for him. Pirates have won 4 of 6. Tigers have lost 4 of 5. Let's take you out to Minnesota, where the Twins went 4-1 over the Braves, thanks to a Josh Bell 2-run homer in the first, Ryan Jeffers 2-run double in the 8th. Drake Baldwin accounted for the only Braves run with a solo home run. And next, let's take you out to Cincinnati with our pal JD Haffron to talk about the 3-0 shutout of the Cardinals over the Reds.
No shocking comebacks this time around as Kyle Leahy and the St. Louis Cardinals shut out the Cincinnati Reds by a score of 3-0. Hey, it's JD from Locked On Cardinals. What more can be said about Kyle Leahy? The guy is incredible right now. 10 straight starts now where he has allowed 2 earned runs or less. Doesn't allow any on Tuesday night. 5 shutout innings, gives up 3 hits, doesn't walk anybody, strikes out 6. He's so good right now. It's amazing. Bullpen, awesome as well. 4 shutout innings, no runs, no hits. 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. Riley O'Brien picks up his NL-leading 32nd save of the season. Offensively, your star was Mason Wynn. 3 for 4 in the game, including his 5th home run of the season. He scores twice. You get an RBI double by Jose Fermin. You get a big sac fly from the rookie Joshua Baez. It wasn't sexy, but they take care of business, and that's what you got to do at this point of the season. Cardinals win at 3-0. They'll go for the series win on Wednesday night at Great American Ballpark. For the latest updates and info, be sure to keep it Locked On Cardinals. Play Freebird.
Oh, there we go. Play Freebird.
Hey.
Cardinals trying to keep it 100 as they try to get that wild card spot in the National League. Hey, coming up, Ohtani reaches his 6th straight 30 home run season, and Joe Adell has a career night, a good night for former Angels on other and better teams. We'll talk about that and much more coming right up. Hey, a big thank you to our friends at Amazon for this limited ad break. This back-to-school season, you can spend less on your kids with Amazon. Now, we all know how crazy the back-to-school shopping experience can be. It starts with a few items on the list, then suddenly you're shopping for supplies and clothes and lunch gear and tech and about 10 other things you didn't see coming. It adds up faster than the calculator you had to buy for trigonometry class. Amazon is great for any back-to-school moment, like when it's 9 p.m. the night before school starts and somebody suddenly remembers they need folders or notebooks and markers and apparently 12 other things nobody mentioned until now. Nobody brought it up. Now, nothing gets the heart rate pumping quite like the emergency school shopping trip. And that's why I'm convinced that Prime's Deliver Tomorrow Before 7 a.m. feature was created exclusively for parents in this moment. And as a dad myself, somebody who's not going to school yet, for us, the Deliver Before 7 a.m. feature from Prime is mostly for diapers for our 1.5-year-old. So when we're fresh out of fresh diapers, we hit up Amazon. So remember, with Amazon's low back to school prices, just spend less on your kids, because every dollar you don't spend on them is a dollar you haven't spent on them. So shop back to school at Amazon and spend less on your kids. Shukri, out in Cleveland, the Guardians went 8-1 over the Giants, courtesy of a big night from my guy, Joe Adell. Former Halo got traded at the deadline to the Guardians. Justin Latta of Locked On Guardians is going to tell us all about it.
The most pivotal part of the season is coming right here, right now for the Cleveland Guardians as they host San Francisco Giants as part of a schedule that they're going to hope to use to loft themselves back into the playoff conversation. They got things started with the bang, an 8-1 win over the San Francisco Giants. Carson Wisenhunt came in with an OPS allowed to right-handed hitters of over 900. Joe Adell came in with an OPS over left-handed pitchers over 900. And he let Carson Wisenhunt up like the Clark Griswold house at Christmas. A 455-foot home run. He had 6 RBIs. Didn't come close to, hitting the Lonnie Chisenhall and Chris James mark of 9 RBI in franchise history, but more than enough for Foster Griffin to go out there and do his thing. Jose Ramirez had a couple of hard hit balls, a couple of big hits in this one as well. Angel Hanao, good performance, a light day for the bullpen. They did some good things. The kind of confidence builder the Guardians absolutely need. Not only matters if they can build on this, you can only win one game at a time, but they absolutely have to build on a game like this, come out on Wednesday, possibly against former prospect Matt Wilkinson, who they traded for Patrick Bailey. So that'll be an interesting game on Wednesday. We'll talk more about it on Locked On Guardians.
Yeah, career high 6 RBI night for Joe Adell. Shukri, will you tell everybody what you texted me after Joe Adell's big game and what you said there?
Oh, that text message.
Yes.
So as you politely asked me, and I use that tongue in cheek, I basically had sent you a text basically during the game where I said, quote, "Forgive me, brother. I was not aware of Joe's game." I didn't know the man hit tanks that headed out to Lake Erie like that. I'm like, holy smokes. Are you kidding me?
Right.
That bomb that he hit was one that I had to text you afterwards. I was like, damn. Did he have did John, did he have this kind of power in Anaheim or something? Because
100%.
I was like, excuse me for not being familiar with this game, but like that was a moment where I was left speechless. I mean, 111.9 off the bat, that's number one. 455 feet. I mean, that was like a tape measure shot, but above all else, you talk about a career night, 6 RBIs before leaving in the 8th inning after fouling a ball off his knee. Bad luck there, but seriously, Joe Adell, I mean, you might be singing the new notes like Adele, the singer. Hello, it's me.
It's me.
I've been wondering if you've been aware of my game. If you knew me. That's all I got. That's all I got.
Look, the hard hit rate and the bat speed and the exit velo, it's always been there. It's just when Joe Adell makes contact. And so if you think about it, it's the power tool is huge, but the hit tool has been hit or miss over his career. But no, he certainly has been capable of that for a very long time. 30 plus home runs last year, and he certainly got time to get there again this year for the Guardians, who really need that. Let's take you out to Colorado. It was a really back and forth game between the Dodgers and the Rockies. Eric Lauer, a short outing of 5 innings, 6 hits, 4 earned runs. Ryan Feltner, 5 innings, 8 hits, 7 earned runs. Ohtani hits his 30th home run of the season. That makes it 6 seasons in a row now of 30-plus home runs. And the biggest thing, I think, from this game is Kyle Tucker with an RBI double. His first hit in 9 days. After all the discourse of what do they got to do with Kyle Tucker, he really needed that RBI double in this one. There was actually 7 doubles across both teams, and even Teoscar Hernandez hit a triple in this one as well and got a sacrifice, or was sacrificed in. But yeah, it was a close one, 7-6 in favor of the Dodgers. Out in Texas, the Nationals were shut out by the Rangers, 5-0. Cal Quantrill all of a sudden becoming one of the best starters in the Rangers rotation, especially with Eovaldi out and questions around DeGrom. 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, no earned runs, no walks, and 5 Ks. If you can shut out the Nationals offense, you're doing something right. Out in Houston, my Angels went 3-1 over the Astros behind George Clausen. In the words of Seinfeld and George Costanza, we declare this the summer of George, because he went 7 innings pitched, 1 hit, no earnings, 3 walks, 7 strikeouts, looked like a champ out there. The Angels take a 3-0 lead behind a Sean Noel RBI, a Neto RBI double, and Josh Lowe hits an opposite field home run into the Crawford boxes. Cam Smith gets one back with a solo home run, but a big strikeout in a big moment of Yordan Alvarez from Ryan Watson, reliever for the Angels. Runners on base, could have taken the lead. They get out of it. Ben Joyce shuts it down, throwing gas and throwing heat against the Astros in the 9th inning. Finally, let's take you out to Kansas City. The Royals walk it off behind Bobby Witt Jr. Let's let Jack Johnson of Locked On Royals tell you all about it.
After trailing by 2 runs in the 9th inning, the Royals storm back to walk off the Athletics 4-3. I'm the host of Locked On Royals, Jack Johnson, giving you a few thoughts from tonight's game. Well, after having a 9-run showing on Monday night, you had a little bit of a different story going into this game, where the A's, they went with more of a bullpen game, but held the Royals to 1 run through 8 innings. Daniel Lynch, he was fine through 4 innings. They got a couple of good innings, though they weren't that efficient from Mason Black. And we did see the Royals' debut of Carlos Duran, and he threw a clean 8th inning. But in that 9th inning, you did get to see a couple of great at-bats from Michael Massey. You saw a really good at-bat from Tyler Tolbert, who had the game-tying 2-run single. The Royals certainly benefited from a couple of missed calls on check swings. Tolbert seemed to go around on his, and we also saw Carter Jensen go around earlier in that at-bat. But it was Bobby Witt Jr. who came through to walk it off in the 9th inning with 2 outs. Not really sure what the Royals were going to do bullpen-wise if they got to the 10th, but good thing they don't have to worry about it. They'll go for a series win tomorrow with Seth Lugo on the mound.
There you go. Bobby Witt Jr. doing Bobby Witt Jr. things. I wonder when we're going to start having the, get Witt to the playoffs conversations like they had about Trout all these years. So that's just me.
That's a fair question.
They're in the same place, record-wise and standings-wise. So, but maybe that's another conversation for another time, Shukri. All right, friends, thank you for being here for this edition of MLB Game Night. Of course, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Shukri and I will be back here with you once again on MLB Game Night on Wednesday. So don't forget to come back and join us on MLB Game Night, where it's every game, every night.